Hello, everybody. It's Tasha C again, and I'm here with another review. Now, this time I want to do it on a new show called Blacklist. I just finished watching it on Hulu.com. I didn't get a chance to see it Monday. Well, yeah, it premiered on the 23rd. So I watched it tonight, and I was going to do the review if I liked the show, and personally, it looks like it's going to be a good show overall. Um, we have for stars, we have Jade Spader. He plays the main character, the fugitive, and it's Raymond, a governor named Raven Remington, and he goes by the nickname Red. Um, and he it starts off. Let me just make this real quick. It starts off where his character is talking to this young man in front of the FBI agency, agency buildings in Washington D.C. It turns out, and this young man's talking to Red. Let's call him Red, and he's sitting up here, say, oh, isn't it good to be home? So it's a mystery because this person I think only appeared for milliseconds at the end, but he's like, is it good to be home? And Red just like, whatever. And all of a sudden, of course, Red goes in and he lets it be known who it was at the agency. So he, as soon as that happens, he just puts down his briefcase, do 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 do, and then all of a sudden, you got 20 men after they read his information because he's supposed to be one of the most wanted men. Um, and when the FBI director um goes over and goes over to talk to him, whatever, he's Red's just like this. I will only talk when, once they get him captive, of course he's just like this. I will only talk to one person, and that is Elizabeth King. Now, of course they're going to go, I think, around that time, discuss about a little bit background about Red. He was actually, he seemed like a good person turned bad, and he originally, graduated, I think, from Navy division or some type of school with the Navy at a young early age. He was married with a wife and a kid, which happens to be a daughter. And if you watch this show, you're going to get so many hints about the connection between Elizabeth King and Red. It's kind of like, okay, it's like, like right in your face. I mean, I know it's prevalent that there are things sometimes that's right in front of your face, and you still don't pay attention to it until it hits you in the head like a couple times. But it was pretty much obvious about the connection between them. I just wonder how long are they gonna carry it out. I don't know how long they're trying to have. I know they're trying to have this, show probably on for quite a decent minute, at least a few years and so. But I'm wondering, how long they're going to keep giving out hints about their possible connection, you know. So, we when we jump, as soon as he talks about he wants to talk to only Elizabeth King, we see Elizabeth King getting up, getting ready, or she's late almost for work. Her and her husband getting ready, and it's also a significant key because this whole show is about paying attention to. I mean, so many details. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Scandal. I mean, Scandal is always going to be in his own lane, but it does remind me of it's one of those shows you have to watch and pay attention to everything. And if you can't, either rewind back to that scene or pause it until you have time to look at it. That's how much is going on. Because some of the stuff, you go back to and you're like, oh, okay, I remember that. So I don't know what his job is. I don't know if he's a teacher. I don't know if he's some type of mentor for a non-profit organization. But he asks this Keen, we're just gonna call her, where should we go? It was two little brochures. One was for a zoo, and I don't know what the other one was. She points to the zoo, and so when they're getting ready to leave out, they're talking about. I guess they're trying to in the process of trying to adopt a child, and all of a sudden all these DNA FBI cars and stuff like that come, and they basically ask Keen to come with them, and Keen ends up Liz. I rather for a car Liz. Liz actually they sit it down because they want to know, of course, the director and everything wants to know what is her connection to Red. And of course, she doesn't have no idea what the hell's going on. And he's asking her, since she's going to be an FBI, special agent, a special, yeah, I think she's FBI special agent or special profiler is the job that she has. And she's of course started giving out descriptions because when they're asking you to tell you about yourself or whatever, describe yourself, she started giving out basically her job description and her educational background and her previous experience. And the director's like, I already have this in your resume. So then it turns to an assessment almost for counseling because she's sitting there talking about people say I'm a bitch. They call me sir. I'm considered narcissistic. Blah blah blah. And it just, you know, it just turned a little bit, even though she said the certain information, they really honestly, as far as the director, and it was one of the agents that I guess she'll be working with, be one of the main characters. I forgot his name. I'll get the names by um, episode number two. Because it was so much, like I said, there was so much going on. So I'm just gonna call it Agent with red hair. He was a man with kind of orange, kind of red hair, and he was there, and I think it was somebody else when they were going through this type of intervention or whatever was going on, or trying to get basically information out of her about what was her connection to Red. But that really, once she said some of this stuff, that made it seem like she had some disconnection or possible, I mean, we all have issues, but some of the issues that they didn't sit here and like really go into investigating her more and stuff like that. It just seemed like oh, okay, whatever. So they had her eventually talk to Red, and it was a couple of times where they talked, but you could tell Red, knew some personal information about basically losing both her parents or certain stuff that happened, personal. And of course, she's wondering, like, how does he know this information? And but the thing is, what he really also wanted to tell her, like I said, coincidence, it turns out he left his daughter and his wife. Apparently her dad left. Like I said, things in front of your face, but yet I mean, like I said, it's so obvious. But like I said, I mean, besides that flaw, it's a very good show, but I'm just wondering how they're going to carry this out. And so after that, he basically tells some information about there's a general, and this certain criminal slash whatever terrorist is going to take this man's daughter, and he doesn't say like, I think, he's like, he's gonna take his daughter, like it's just written in stone. And so of course, Liz and a couple of FBI agents go to warn the general, and then they go to the little girl's ballet class, and they just go ahead, and I guess they're on the way. They have a couple trucks following behind them, vehicles following behind them, and they're on the way. Gets back either to the agency, so the father can pick up his child and stuff like that. But we already know. It's only been at the maximum around this time, maybe 10 minutes went into the show so far. So we already know a lot of stuff is going to happen. Okay. So after that, as soon as there was this man, I think it was Zorro or Zorro, whatever the terrorist name is. Okay, starts with a Z. That's all I know. And he's up here like, or some of this man is like, oh, there's a chemical spill. So all of a sudden, right when the vehicle where the Liz and General's daughter's vehicle in, and I don't think Mr. Redhead was in the vehicle. I think it was another one. All of a sudden, when the vehicle that Liz and the little girl is, bam! A truck. I mean, this big vehicle just runs into the car, and then they're just shooting up all the rest of the agents or whoever security's protection and all the vehicles. But Mr. Redhead gets out the vehicle and is able, he survives whatever. And when they're shooting up the car, Liz is able to get out her gun and start shooting some, of these criminal, these possible kidnappers slash killers. And then there's one man who's giving a mask. I don't know if, like I said, if it's one of the men or Zorba himself. And he's up here giving a countdown like, we know we don't want to kill the girl, blah, blah, blah. I mean, here's a mask, blah, blah. But he's still giving a countdown like, okay, we want the girl alive when we take her, basically, type of thing. So he gives her the mask. She gives the gas mask. She even warns the girl, we're going to come we're going to come save you. These men are going to take you, but we're going to save you. So she, I think like I said, there was so much going on, but let's just say, the guy got shot, and they did end up getting the girl. The guy got killed because he was about to actually kill Liz, and I think Mr. Redhead saved her and shot him. Because it was somebody else, I think, that took the girl. I think he took the girl, the guy, whatever. And like I said, it was just so much going on, but you get it. So anyway, after that, of course, they go back to the agency, building, with the FBI building, and of course, you know in the long run, Red is like, okay, I already told you this, like, that he was going to take the girl, so of course we're just getting bits by piece. So of course around this time, I think, in between, at first, Red is requesting to stay at his one of his favorite hotels, and let me tell you that actually that hotel looked it better than some people's houses. It just looked like a lovely house. Maybe, by the way, it was very set up very wonderfully, and I mean he's been there so much that the but like I said, just people knew him. The waiter knew him. Just everybody. No, the bellboy. That's what I meant to say. The bellboy just knew him. By Mr. Reddington, blah blah blah. So that's what we're saying there. But then I noticed the whole time, even though I forgot to mention that he actually they put like a physical, tag in his arm. I don't think, besides for 2 seconds, every time when they're talking to Red, I notice he is not in handcuffs. Even though he's the most wanted man or fugitive, he's never. I mean, he's just that's he just he is just. It's no explanation, okay? But I mean, I don't know if he like physically hurt people or had additional way hurt to kill people, But I'm just saying, considering that he's the most wanted criminal on the FBI list, and yet he doesn't have any handcuffs. Just pay attention to that, at all. So, to make a long short short, so I think after that, around the time is so much going on, and around this time, finally Liz gets home and it's late, and you see all these balloons, and you see this little gift basket with a teddy bear, everything like as a girl, like, even because at first she couldn't go to the adoption agency, because in between she was going to have to stay, with the appointment her and her husband made, because she was going to have to stay, of course, due to the fact that it was basically, she had no choice. It was FBI telling, you're stuck here and you're gonna have to help out with the case. And he said he was going to take care of it. So obviously there must have been approved. But here, surprise, surprise, around this time, you have Zula. She went to go see her husband. She looked over and said her husband is badly beaten up, and he's tied to the kitchen chair, and has duct tape on the mouth. And here comes Zula, and he's basically investigating her, like, because after this, around this time, Brad had gave information that he knew the chemist, because like I said, he kind of knew Zulov anyway, and he ends up telling them that he was using a chemist. So that's where he thought, like, maybe, you go to this man that knows about safe houses. He knows what the chemist is, where they think, because he's obviously Zumbop is planning on releasing some type of bomb or chemical bomb. And so he's, of course, Zulov's investigating, like, he's up to even telling Liz, like, he's obsessive with you, talking about, Red. But he's all basically trying to investigate, like, how did you know this and blah, blah, blah. But I don't, since, thank goodness you actually saved me time, because I didn't really need a chemist anyway. That's money I don't have to pay for. So, whatever. Around this time, I think, like I said, next time I will be taking notes, because I'm just thinking on the top of my head, and I wanted to get it out of the way because it's on the show. But let me continue. So, around this time, he stabs the husband in the knife. Liz keep trying to assure your husband going to be to her husband's going to be okay. And of course, he's screaming in pain because he's being stabbed with a knife, stabbed with a knife in his thigh. And then he's basically telling, you have the choice now to save a bunch of people, basically like, capture him or save your husband. So he ends up stabbing Liz's husband right over here in the rib cage with the knife and walks out. And she's up there trying to call, of course, the hospital and stuff. And her husband ends up in a ventilator. So I don't know if he's, going to make it or not, but it doesn't look too well. And, there's blood all over the place. And he was beaten up severely badly anyway. He was still alert and conscious, but it's not looking too good so far. And, of course, Liz ends up confronting, read at the hotel because about basically like, you knew something about this. How was this man in my home? And Ray's nurse said, your husband doesn't matter at all. I just want to let you know that, whatever. And but he's just like, okay, sorry, but I'm not sorry, type of thing. And she takes a pen and stabs him, right in here. I think the carbon is some right in here. And she basically like, you're either gonna tell me this and comply, or you're gonna, be conscious. And I noticed, consider that he's on film. Nobody said nothing to her. I guess because they didn't get examined because he's fugitive anyway. But I'm like, she just literally just took it upon herself and stabbed him in the neck, and nobody said shit. Okay, so after that, I think around this time he tells her, in order to save this girl, which is now in this man's arms, whatever, you have to think basically almost like in a way, take empathy and think like a criminal. And so he's taking information when they're looking up and putting, the pictures up on screen and stuff to try to, see the details and put this and try to line this up information, see how this photo, this information coordinates with this person and this event. And he's like just Greg just here over here. He just messing with information like you're all wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Like I said, I don't think he was even handcuffs at all the whole time. If y'all ever actually watch the show, pay attention, or if it was little enough. But I could have sworn a lot of times his hands were free because he sure was able to. I don't even think he had. I know he had the ID chip, but still, it it just still it was. Rest the man. I'm sorry. just based on that, 'cause just like I said, you the world's most known fugitive, and he got a lot of free privileges. I mean, he got a lot of privileges. I know he had a lot of information, but still, it was just like maybe it's just because it's meant for TV. So he basically tells Liz to look like it, and then when she started looking, because he kept on always asking her. I mean, Red asked it Liz, what did he say? And of course, Liz he kept saying something about the girl. And he brought up about the chemist because about the thing when when she finds him and he basically torturing the hell and still was torturing the hell out of her husband. And all of a sudden, they put two to two together once he told her basically, think your mind like in his head. He comes from Barcelona, I think. I think I'm spelling that right. If I'm not, sorry. And the general had, I think, chemically had bombed or was responsible for bombing his country, and he lost his family, and that's his whole purpose of this Zolvik guy, of getting revenge because he survived, and that may be the reason because he actually was dying of some cancer or some type of illness, or he was terminally ill. But I guess before he died, he wanted to get revenge for what happened to his family. But like I said, because it was something chemical, I don't think they even actually said that him, his illness was the cause of the chemical thing. Like I said, I don't know for sure. And so he wanted to get revenge and basically make an example by using the general's daughter. In other words, he's gonna put that bomb on that child, whatever, send the bomb back with that little girl. So the chemist didn't even make the bomb. It's kind of like maybe a distraction that he kind of know the possibility he might have been trying to get caught. So he had plan A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And so after that, they're finding ways. He I think around this time afterwards, I think Red was able to get out his room and they didn't know what's that, but he purposely met with the dude around this time Zorbert. And he even asked, like, walking, I think he meets him in the park and stuff, and they're just like, hi, old friend, type of thing at first. And it was true that Red had because Liz questioned did Red had anything to do with why her husband was attacked and why that man was in the home, and we've seen the connection. And it turned out, actually, that She was right because he even asked her, did you take care of the situation with her husband? Blah blah blah. Yes. So it's some reason. I mean, I understand there's a 99.9 chance he is the father, but it's a deeper reason about why the husband was targeted. Okay, which will I'm about to get in a few minutes because I'm about to go to the ending. So make a long story short, because again, Red keeps asking, had, I think, was speaking her phone around the time because there was still him and Zora was working, and then they ended up separating. And he's calling because, they, of course, they're trying to locate Red and stuff like that. And of course, I think at the same time, I try to locate Zora up and stop from this bomb, but they still don't have an exact idea. But Red, of course, is able to get, you know, Liz to put who to who together about, okay, what did you see? And, he was like, she's talking about, of course, what he said, about her son. What did you see? And the important key is that actually there was it looked like this little spider, like little tribal symbol tattoo. I think that was on his right hand. It looked like a tattoo, but it's actually a stamp. And then she realized that stamp is actually the signal, and they take it back to that brochure that the husband earlier was asking, should go to the zoo, and it's actually a symbol of the zoo that he was going for a field trip for, or whatever. So that's what she realized is a stamp, and that's where probably the little girl is, or in or the bomb. And of course, there's still you got one officer, Mr. Redhead. He's thinking he's tracking down Red's character on top of a roof, and I don't know if it was a track. I think it was the tracking thing of the arm in his hand, and he had like because of course it turns around to be Zola up on top of the building. And around this time, Liz finds the little girl sitting in the park, and of course it turns out the bomb. She has a coat on the backpack, and the bomb is inside the backpack and around the little girl. And there's less than like 3 minutes. Like I said, you got Mr. Redhead on the roof with Mr. Zoloff, Mr. Terrace, whatever the case is. And then because of course, like I said, Liz is mad. But oh, I forgot one little thing in between. Someone, I forgot who was in the hospital, but I think it might have been, or was it actually Red's character? Like I said, it's so much going on with that. Please excuse me. But somebody escaped out of the hospital, and that same guy in the beginning was in the elevator because I think Red might have escaped it out the window with a bungee cord, whatever. Maybe that's why Hal was able to get that thing out the armor, just pretending to be sick. But the little guy, the guy that was in the beginning of the film, winked his eye, whatever, like, so I don't, that must be one of his assistants or something or whatever, he's Batman, that guy's Robin. I don't know. We will see. So back to the present time. When they're up here trying to sit in the with the bomb thing, we're just wondering what the heck's going to happen because they don't know how to turn off this bomb. This man who is turned out to be doesn't speak any English, whatever, just comes out of nowhere and he's just ready, got the little plot little tools, whatever, to clip the bomb and stop it at first. But of course it was the wrong chord because Liz is trying to cover the girl, just make it seem like, if you touch this scar, it helps me become magical, powerful, it helps you give strength. And she's telling the little girl, now I know she's just like, just hold on, let it go off, don't let it go off. And all of a sudden, the man, first he turned, like I said, the wrong cord. The red one, he clips the wrong cord. And then he ends up clipping the right one. Because it speeded up actually worse, the first one. Then he cut off the second one. The man just like, as soon as he did that, the agent is sitting here like, what in the world just happened? He just sitting here, yay, and just takes off with the bomb, and just, takes off like, yay, whatever. I'm just, I'm not trying to say it was funny. Like I said, it was just kind of a couple moments that you're just like, oh, okay. And, it turns out that Red sent off this person there. Like I said, he knows so many people. That's why the show's called a Blacklist. And it was somebody who, for whatever reason, wanted that thing. He made an arrangement that way. He thought it was a win for win situation. This man got the chemical bomb, and Reed was able to save this little girl and possibly some other people. But just make whatever the case was, because I think it was chemical messed up. Because I know Zorba wanted to like make a play, so he feel like it's a win for win situation. He saved a lot of people by having this. Yay, happy I got the chemical bomb, man. With this stuff, and I know Liz was like telling them, like, when all the agents came, go get that man. That man had it. So they of course questioned Red, like, okay, why did you get that man, to give access to the thing? And like I said, Ray's just like, okay, whatever. And of course he ends up telling, because this is around this time he's back talking to the FBI director. And he's just like, they're all like, since he turned himself in, whatever, that's it. He's like, oh no, there's more. And then, you got, I think, Mr. Redhead saying about, we got the list. He's like, oh, nothing, your list ain't nothing, list ain't shit. There's a blacklist, and I've been coming up with this list accumulated for 20 years. There's a lot of people you don't know about. You got the hackers, you got the terrorists, you got the you have the killers, you have the spies, and you're going to fall into my tune, which they kind of somewhat were anyway already, but they're going to be doing way longer than what they thought. Because he, wants his own security, he wants a certain tag in the back of his neck, and he's only going to be speaking with Elizabeth King, okay. So he's basically, I'm only going to stay the same place two nights at a time in a row. Like I said, he basically is making the FBI his bitch. I mean, he'd been anyway because it was on the radar for so many goddamn years and shit. And coincidence, it was 20 years he came to listen disappeared. And I noticed they never, when they were talking about his daughter, they never said how old she was, but I think there was a fire when she was 14. Like I said, it's just so obvious that the reason why he's after her or noticing more information, and it correlates him leaving and her losing her dad, or he just disappeared. Because the girl's mother died when she was young too, and that's what he had mentioned, like your father left and your mother died. And I think I brought that up earlier. Um, but yes, so at the end, um, of the story, after Red basically tells FBI, y'all my bitch. We go back to the scene where Liz is trying again, because she tried it again once of trying to scrub out these blood stains out of the carpet. And all of a sudden, it was this big stain that she couldn't scrub out. It was a couple stains. And then she decides to pull up the carpet. And then you see it looks like underneath, the wooden floor, some type of trap door. And of course, she takes, and which opens it up, finds to open it up, and there's a box. Guess what's in the box? About 5 or 6 different I mean, first you see the money. You see um some a couple stacks, 100. I don't know how many thousands, but you see some money, some nice amount of money stashed away. Then she's opening up all these passports, and guess whose face is on there? It's her husband. Okay, he has about 5, 6, or 7 different passports. There's a gun, and you can see some 4 more passports. So all of a sudden, she goes, you see right at the very end, she goes back to, I guess, where the FBI place, and he was like, oh, so you want to know about your husband? Then it goes to credits. Okay. And then all of a sudden, I found it also interesting at the end. It was like an alternative rock version of 99 Problems. If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one. Okay. I don't know. It just stood out to me. It was almost damn like the barbershop version, but yeah, so this looks like it's going to be a very interesting show. It's good for a good show, especially now with script shows, and how reality's taken over and stuff like that. So I hope to plan on reviewing this until for now on until in April, or at the beginning of May, whenever it ends. So I will be reading. I hope you guys like the review. Whatever. I hope y'all have a good night and a wonderful day. I'll see y'all next time. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I am out. And I hope if y'all get a chance, watch the show, and if you can, Hulu's, I guess, gonna have the first couple shows you catch up on. So, like I said, the pilot's on there now. If you didn't get a chance to DVR it, it's because that's how I watched it. All right, y'all, take care and good night. See y'all next time.